Welcome to the Porter Voices podcast. I'm Marinel de Jesus, founder of the Porter Voice Collective. This season, we've been sitting with the women who guide on Nepal's trails, asking them to tell their own stories in their own words on their own terms. This episode is a little different. You're about to hear a conversation between two women who work in this field. One of them, Mingmar Dolma Sherpa, co-founded the Himalayan Women Trail Leaders Initiative alongside myself and has been guiding on Nepal's trails for years. The other, Brik Maya Gurung, is 3 years into her guiding career and is still studying for her bachelor's in mountaineering at Nepal Mountaineering Academy. I want you to notice something as you listen. This is what it sounds like when the industry talks to itself, not to us, to itself. I'll let them take it from here.
Namaste. Welcome everyone to the podcast presented by Porter Boys Collective as an initiative to do interview of guides, porters, and a person who is engaged in trekking tourism field. And I am Mingmar Dolma Sherpa, and I am member of PVC. In the context of Nepal, tourism is also considered as backbone of Nepal economy. Talking about it, guide is also known as the backbone of tourism. So, this podcast is taking as an initiative to understand their emotions, their feelings, and then listen and then understand them. So, for today's episode, with us we have Brik Maya Gurung, who has been working as a trekking guide for past 3 years, and she is also studying bachelor in mountaineering in NMA. We will be talking about her 3 years of experience as a guide and the challenges and the opportunities she got in tourism. So, Namaste, Brick. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, thank you.
How did you start your journey as a trekking guide?
When I was studying in the fourth semester, there was a field trip from my college, so I went on the field trip in the month of September, which was also the starting of trekking season. That situation kind of forced me into becoming a guide as I had a lot of expenses for the trip. Before then, I was just a student working in a travel agency, and I thought it wasn't enough, so I started my guiding journey.
As you are also studying and working as a guide, how do you balance and manage your work and study?
It's very tough to balance both work and study, but since my study is in mountaineering, some of the study matches with the field work, which makes it a bit easier. But sometime during the season time, I have to give exams and I cannot work the whole season. That's the difficult part to balance.
Yeah, that means it is very difficult to work in that condition. So, how much support do you get from your family as you are working in tourism as a guide?
I have been getting pretty much good support from my family, like financially and encouragement by word of mouth. And after I started earning on my own, they have been supportive by like positive talk, sometimes financially for the things that I cannot afford on my own, and even just by their presence around me.
So in our country, most of the women who don't get good support, but in your case, it's opposite, and you are getting a full support from your family.
Yes, probably because in my village there are a lot of women who go abroad to work, but fewer in outer fields like trekking, and also it's a unique sector for my community.
Or you said that you have grown up in a village. How was your childhood? Can you please tell us?
Actually, I'm from Gorkha, Korla village, which is in Darje rural municipality. Long story in short, my childhood is the best and amazing part of my life. When I was about 1.5 years old, my younger brother was born at around late monsoon, and it must have been difficult for my mother to look after two little kids at the same time. And at other times, I went to school normally, even though I was a girl. In my society, some people believed that girls should not study, but I was fortunate. No one stopped me from going to school. And then later, when I became able to help my mom and sister to do farming and all that stuff, I stayed in the village to do farming and all that during the monsoon holiday instead of going up in the high region with my father. And I think when I was about around 10 years old, my sister left the village after finishing her school to continue high school. And because of that, I had more responsibilities like going to the field in the morning and evening, collecting firewood, carrying loads, and doing similar tasks like that. So, yeah, this is how my childhood looks like.
Nowadays, wherever we look, people often say that they were inspired by someone, and most people come into a field because they are like directly or indirectly inspired by someone. So, what would you like to say to them, and what kind of suggestion would you give?
Well, answering your question, what I would say is that we need to discover our own talent first. We need to understand what we are good at. Sometimes, when something like tourism is trending, everyone rushes into it, but if that's not where our true strength or gifts lie, then we won't be able to do well there either. So, I believe that everyone has different talents and gifts. So, you should work on your own talent, gifts, or wherever you are good at. And if your talent lies in tourism, then you can pursue it. At the beginning, you might not see much opportunities, especially if you don't have any network or connection in the field. It can feel uncertain, but it's not always about just network or connection. Just keep working on yourself and stay positive, and you will start to see opportunities over time. Talking about my own experience, I kept participating in trainings like rock climbing, rescue, and first aid to gain knowledge, experience, and information about the industry. At first, I didn't do guiding because I didn't have that confidence, even though I wanted to. One of the reasons was that I wasn't good at speaking English.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier that you didn't have confidence to lead a group. So, how did that confidence come later, and how did you build it?
As I continued guiding, that became a great place for English speaking practice and for overall confidence gain. So, this is how I gained my confidence.
Yeah, now you have good confidence in English and overall. So, yeah, which is your favorite trekking region?
So far, Manaslu is my favorite one.
Yeah, while trekking for many days, did you face any challenges?
Sure, me as a female guide, I've faced some challenges, especially during the peak season. One of the main problem is not getting room for myself to sleep. At times, I had to sleep in the dining area, but sometimes it depends on the people around us.
So, while trekking, have you ever had a moment and that made you feel proud, like, wow, I am proud to be a guide?
Well, I feel happy almost all the time, but I feel especially proud when I see my parents being very happy because of what I'm doing.
And now, while trekking, do you usually take female porters or they mostly male guides and male porters?
It actually depends on the company. Some companies already have their own regular porters, so they usually arrange them. But I once tried to take a female porter who was from a village near mine, and I thought she would be capable since she was from a rural background. However, even though she was originally from the village, she had been living in Kathmandu for about 2-3 years. That had made her a bit less physically strong for this kind of work, and it became difficult for her. At the same time, it was a bit challenging for me as well.
Yeah, people often say that trekking can be physically challenging for females and also that decision making might not always be strong. So, how do you maintain yourself physically and how do you handle decision making in such situation?
Physically, since I grew up in a village, I don't find it very difficult. Of course, sometimes there might be some issues like altitude sickness, but overall, I've been doing good physically up to now.
Yeah, and about decision making, how do you manage that?
I would say it mostly comes with experience. If we have experience, then we can make the right decision. But if we don't, then whether you are a boy or girl, then we may not be able to make right decision, or we may feel a bit confused or uncertain.
Yeah, besides family, have you received support or inspiration from friends or companies? Have any guides inspire you to become a guide?
Yes, I have received supports. Some guide brothers have inspired me a lot, but of course there are many female guides as well. But when I started, there were not many female guides in my immediate circle. So, and my friends have also been very supportive, especially those from college.
And what are your future plans?
For now, I will see how things go after finishing college. I haven't made a very fixed decision yet, but I'm thinking of continuing in this same field.
So, while trekking, what has been your best moment? Or you must have moments with clients where you created a memory together for something that made you feel, and this client was really great. Do you have any best memories like that?
Yes, I have so many memories that it's hard to choose just one best of the best. But if I have to mention one, there was a time when I took a client to ABC, and the trail was quite challenging for her, and there were some difficulties along the way. And she was just about to give up, and I kept motivating her step by step, and finally we reached the ABC, and she was in tears for being there. So probably that would be the best moment.
So, what qualities guide should have in order to make a trip successful?
Well, there are several important qualities like leadership, which includes ability to make decisions even under pressure, flexible enough to handle situation according to the circumstances, teamwork, which is very important. We need to be able to work with others and extra.
Yeah, for example, when people see like female guides leading in a team, it can be very inspiring. I have seen that many women are now working this kind of work. In some cases, like companies even say they don't have any female guides, but when they do see a female guide, they even say, "Wow!" So, have you experienced such reaction from clients or others?
Yes, I have both from my own clients and from random people I meet while trekking. In Nepali society, there is often a perception that women are limited to certain roles, but when they see women trekking and guiding, their reaction seems very attentive and like, wow.
So we are now almost at the end of the interview. So would you like to add something else?
For me, even before I said, because of my studies, sometime even I got trips I couldn't do. And till now, I'm studying. So even if there are protests or not, the impact is still there due to college. But I'm grateful for everything.
Yeah, nowadays, especially around October, November are just before the peak trekking season. Sometimes there are natural disasters, sometimes protests, and because of this, tourism has been quite heavily affected. Because of this, even opportunities for guides are being affected. Yeah, thank you so much for your time for our podcast.
Thank you as well for giving me this opportunity.
So, this is the podcast conducted by Porter Voice Collective, and we are now at the end of today's episode. I believe that and this series is very inspiring to all listeners. Today we had a conversation with guides. I would like to take a leave for today. Namaste.
That was Brik Maya Gurung, trekking guide, mountaineering student, and someone 3 years into building something she hadn't planned on, in a field she now loves. And that was Mingmar Dolma Sherpa, co-founder of the Himalayan Women Trail Leaders Initiative, asking the questions that matter to someone who knows this industry from the inside. This is what the Porter Voices podcast is here to do. Not to explain these women to you, but to let you hear them. The Porter Voice Collective is volunteer-run and grassroots. The Himalayan Women Trail Leaders Initiative trains Nepali women in guide leadership and creates pathways for them to lead on the Great Himalaya Trail. If you'd like to support that work, the link is in the show notes. No pressure. Just know that's where it goes, directly. If this conversation has stayed with you, share it. One person. That's how these voices travel further. The Porter Voices podcast is produced by the Porter Voice Collective. I'm Marinel De Jesus. Hanggang sa muli. Until next time.